live in the United States for over 12 years now, and I was always looking for an American opera topic. I have written several operas before, and one of them is based on Thomas Mann's The Magic Mountain. Also, two other operas are based on Hungarian topics. That's where I'm from, Budapest, Hungary. And I thought that, you know, there must be something I can do, a Hungarian guy who is now living in the South, and I been reading books and looking through looking for stories, watching movies, and just searching, and somehow I figured that the real drama, the real opera topic is somewhere here in the South.
I published a novel of Georgia Bottom's in 2011, and it was about a year later I got a mysterious phone call from Gregory Wojda, who was just appointed the new conductor here in the Huntsville Symphony, and he said they wanted to do an opera to celebrate their 50th anniversary season. And he had read my book and wanted to make an opera of my novel. So that's how we got started. It was not anything I ever expected to do.
Gregory has been talking about it for a long time, and he always was asking me what my schedule was, because I was always like in there to be involved in the project. And then this year worked out just perfectly because I had a time off in between two other engagements, and the time period was absolutely perfect, as if he had planned it that way.
So we traded drafts back and forth by email. I mean, he's all over the world all the time, conducting in different places. So he would send me bits of music that he was composing, and I would send him pieces and scenes from the libretto, and we just did a lot of trading back and forth. It was a long-distance collaboration. We actually almost finished with the opera by the time we actually met each other.
It's definitely written for legit voices, opera voices, but on the other hand, he's demanding that these voices sing in a style that is very different. I mean, jazz influenced and swing influenced, and so it's demanding a lot of the singers that they wouldn't get in a normal opera.
Listen, there's no comedy without references. So in music, you have to have references to play with. So one is pacing that makes the comedy. The other thing is that you can actually write music that sounds like rodeo music. And when that meets with the text, that creates the comedy, creates the well, we're in the minute, we're in the second, we're in that moment of the opera where it's happening, and that interference or that correspondence between music and lyrics and situation, that's how a comic opera can work. So this is my first opera where I'm trying to write things like that, like funky bass guitar solo, banjo is included in the music. My first time for writing for banjo, for sure. My first time writing blues. Two whole scenes in the opera are practically two blues songs being sung over by singers. So there are a lot of new things for me in there, and I was trying to boil down everything I know about writing an opera and make it as tight as possible. And Mark was a big help in that, because we just said, you know, this should not be longer than 80 minutes. And it should be really fast-paced and a lot of things happening, and you have to tell the whole story in practically somewhere between 75 and 80 minutes.
Wow, it's just so different. I think it's so different from anything I've done before, and there's never been a modern comic opera that's set in the South. You know, people have done some of the Steinbecks, and there have been operas of some of Tennessee Williams' plays, but they tend to be a little bit on the drama side, and we thought it would be really fun to do something that's just straight comedy.